things, it takes me a long time to, because like, okay, I, wow, we're really getting into it, like, in the beginning. Okay, this is stream of consciousness, can you tell I'm lonely? But, what was I saying? I can't even fucking remember. Oh, okay, so, like, even when I sit down to, like, make a list of things that I need to do, I will think of, like, 2 or 3 things that I should do, before I get to it. And right now, it is me fixing my whole sort of situation on my night table, which for ASMR has become something of like a base of operations a little bit. I am going to put on some lip balm because I find that as soon as I go to start filming, it's like, oh, my lips are dry, especially going into like, it's not cold here by any means yet, but going into like colder, drier kind of months, I need to like keep on top of myself for this, and this lip balm, I guess I should say, this chapstick, it does say lip balm, it's just like a Burt's Bees peppermint thing with like vitamin E, it says on here. I don't know if I necessarily am like married to it. I will never purchase this. I got 3 of these little sticks as a gift though. 3 chapsticks will last me easily 2 years. So I was just happy to get them, and now I use them. So thinking about it, like getting up to film, it's like, oh, I should moisturize my lips or something like that. So, anyway, I guess I jumped the gun, kind of. I didn't want to do just sort of like a you and I, chatting kind of video, mostly because, my thoughts have been racing a lot lately, and I notice when that happens, I'm feeling like socially deprived, and I completely understand that it is not necessarily like the healthiest thing to do, to find social gratification through the internet, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and then I am going to reach out to friends, hopefully at some point here, to possibly do something, which, I don't know, the one place that I've been at with my mental health lately, I know I've gone sort of up and down as like, the summer kind of came and kept going. Summer was kind of I would say on the whole, a downswing, but I'm learning to live with it, and just like continue on. But the one thing consistently that I haven't been able to like overcome is and it's been going on for, I would say, a couple of years. It's been going on where I just have had so much trouble reaching out to people, and like friends, family. It's very difficult right now for me to muster up the the actual, like, I'm gonna do it. I have the want, I have the desire. I am feeling quite lonely lately, but I don't know why I can't just put it in my head that I need to start reaching out to people. And like, I don't get it. last year where I left Starbucks in June of that year, and I didn't find employment until November of 2023 because I had my resume written, I had references, I had all of this stuff, and I wouldn't send in applications. Explain that one to me. And then in August of last year, so it's wild, it's been a year, I went to my doctor and I was like, hey, sir, I think he's a new doctor. He's quite young. He's probably only about like 5 years older than me. I'd give him like 30, maybe. Yeah, actually that does make sense. But anyway, my doctor, he took on the patients of all of my old family doctors, all of my previous family doctors, old patients. He took them on, and I guess he had phoned me like 2 years ago when he had started as a GP, and I just like completely missed that phone call. Shocker for me. And so then I phoned him, and I was like, hey, is Dr. Blank, my previous doctor, taking patients, or like seeing old patients? And the receptionist, she was like, he retired like a long time ago, but this new doctor is taking on, like, I think it was a majority of my old doctor's patients. And so I was like, and how long ago was that? Like, how long does it take for me to be considered not a patient anymore? And I was lucky. She was like 5 years, so it was good. I hadn't, my sort of patient status hadn't expired or anything like that. I guess it takes 5 years for somebody to be like completely sort of removed from the system to make room, I guess. But anyway, so I phoned this guy up. I was like, when can I get the soonest appointment? And the receptionist helped me out with it, of course. And I said, hi, I think I have ADHD. And this is based on like tons of evidence from when I was a kid and in school, and comments from the teachers, and comments from I have my friend who got married in May. If you've been around on the channel since May, you will know that I went to her wedding as one of the bridesmaids, and she is doing her like she's going into her PhD program doing like clinical child psychology, and like she will be in schools and helping kids and teachers and parents and families figure out like, okay, what is going on, and what are our next steps if this child has a specific learning disability with relation to reading, or if they're a candidate as if you're an ASM artist, and maybe that will turn into your new sort of like habit. Of course, this is not advice. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but it worked for me. But anyway, so I think that's where my I wouldn't say reluctance, because it's not reluctance, but my inability to reach out to people, I think, is just is owing to my ADHD and the executive dysfunction. And the other thing is, I'm not medicated right now. Medication costs like a shitload, and I'm saying that as a Canadian. We have, I guess, a fairly like well-known reputation for cheap medication, which, like, I get it. It might be cheaper than other places, I guess, but like, it's still fucking expensive here because our wages in Canada are like, they're stagnating. Thank goodness I don't work at Starbucks anymore, where I was literally making, well, I started at $1 over minimum wage because my hiring manager, he and I know each other, so I kind of gamed that system. But like my raise package, I think by the end of 2.5 years, I was making like 18.25 Canadian or something around that, which is just, it's laughable in this day and age. They're like, well, we gave you a raise package every year, and it's like, yeah, we also had a pretty big crisis that inflated our economy and inflated our dollar and trashed the economy. Even though, okay, this is the weird thing, we all just kind of forgot that, like, governments can do things to help the people. Like, during a global pandemic where people are fucking dying, we're like, but money doesn't grow on trees. It's like, okay, sure. Anyway, we're getting into politics, which I should stay away from, but I don't know, it's hard for me. I read the news a lot, which maybe I shouldn't. I mean, like, the American election is fascinating to me, just from a Canadian perspective. I'm not going to do the thing where I am like, oh, both of your candidates are, one of your candidate is to the right of center, and your other candidate is far to the right of it. I'm not going to do that. I think a lot of Canadians are very condescending about the American political system. Meanwhile, look at ours. But yes, I read the news a lot, and I think I would recommend it because I end up very informed. Like, I have a good idea of a lot of what is going on, and I try to keep a very healthy and diverse media diet, so I'm not just looking at the CBC and the BBC. I try to incorporate, like, the Reuters and the NPRs and the Al Jazeera and, like, all of the sort of spectrum of news organizations. I will never watch or read right-wing media, though. That's just, that is, it's just a fucking, it's a nest of grifters and people looking to make a quick buck. I mean, even, like, fucking Tucker Carlson doesn't believe in shit all, yet he will go up in front of a camera and be like, he will spew the worst shit that you've ever heard in your life, and it's like, holy fuck. But no, I will never watch or read right-wing media because they are constructing a reality that does not exist fully. It's just, anyway, again, we're getting political, but I think, like, I don't know. I forget where I was going with this, which is very common for me. We end up in freelance for like 3 months, and I got my shit like all the way together. So I'm hopefully, let's all knock on wood for Ryan, that I will hopefully get a fairly cheap health insurance plan. Please. Fun fact about the Canadian healthcare system, if you are somebody like me, 25 years old, not married, not a dependent, and not, like, disabled in any way, in any, like, needing financial assistance way, we do not have prescription, we don't have pharmacare, I do not have dental care, seniors now have dental care, thank you NDP, and I don't get optical, so I have to do, I also don't, like, counseling services and things like that, but I think that's fairly normal as things go. But yeah, I still have to pay for stuff like that. We don't control prescription drug costs, except for birth control and insulin. Again, thank you NDP. And the NDP are working to try to get us extended pharmacare, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it is very difficult for people to get to a point where they are feeling like normal and alright, and especially if you have extenuating circumstances, if you're an individual with OCD, if you're an individual with ADHD, if you are like experiencing these things that are not considered like major health crises in a way that there's treatment options available or there's grants or something like that, then you're just SOL. And I think that the stress of that can sometimes be overwhelming. So I guess in terms of this being a ramble, I'm here for you. I get you, which I know is not offering much, but I think sometimes being seen doesn't necessarily solve the problem, but it helps the problem. And that's, I think, like one of the greatest things about ASMR and what I want to do with this is it's just like an opportunity for people to have a spot where I am not going to fix all of your problems, but I am going to give you a roughly 45-minute to hour length, like half-hour to hour length reprieve, so that you can at least fall asleep or something. Because, like I said, the racing thoughts, that kind of brings, see, I did have a point. It's a Roboros. I'm a snake eating my own tail. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, my thoughts race. I have trouble making decisions. And I think that kind of the beauty of, and this is YouTube in general for me, like, I do frequently fall asleep to ASMR. I do frequently put on ASMR to just, like, to get rid of some of that stress and thought racing. I think that so many people are shamed for wanting to just, like, sometimes I want to sit and watch a YouTube video. Sometimes I want to throw on a YouTube video and screw around in my kitchen and, like, prepare my lunches or my meals and not really accomplish much. And that's kind of what I would hope to offer here, but just like in the whole scheme of rambling, I think it provides like a nice little understanding between two souls on either end of a screen and like possibly across miles, where we get to just kind of stop for a second and tell each other that everything's alright, or that even if everything isn't alright, that in this second, like right now, with what we've got going, things are made to feel alright. So I guess what I am trying to take 24 minutes to say is, I hope I'm succeeding. I hope, I know that, like, I don't know, so many people comment and they're like, this is something, like, whatever I'm doing is working and it's appreciated. So, I guess I kind of want to do more rambles. This has been really nice, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. That's just like inner monologue kind of stuff. But, I'm happy that I could be a reprieve for somebody in a certain way, enough that they feel like compelled to type something out and send it to me. Like, I don't know. It's really nice. But yeah, I think the reason why full disclosure, it's 1:39 a.m. on the 18th. Today is, well, I guess Wednesday now. But to me it still feels like Tuesday. But it's just something that I was very compelled to do. My hair looked nice. I'm wearing something nice. I'm wearing something that I don't frequently wear. Another weird thing about ASMR is I always feel compelled to wear different things, and like if I show up in a video wearing something, I'll be like, or if like I sit down to film, I'll be like, I need to change my shirt, because that's what you see. And I'm always like, I hope they don't realize that I wore this in another video, which, who gives a shit, but just the little things that you think about. Yes, I just wanted to, like, sit here and talk and do stream of consciousness. I know usually my rambles on here definitely skew mental health wise, but I think that's necessary. I think so many facets of society, I won't say people, because I think pinning it on people is not healthy, but like there's this huge emphasis on like, we need to start a conversation, we need to like have a conversation, I want to open up the floor to a conversation about mental health, and it's like, awesome, fucking do it. Like, there's a Canadian telephone company called Bell, named after Alexander Graham Bell, and essentially, I think it's in February or March, there is like the Bell Let's Talk Day, and it's like an opening of the floor to speak about mental health. And I'm not saying that that is not valuable, because if it has reached a corporation, it is acceptable enough that they think that they can sell their product on the back of a conversation about mental health, which is encouraging, but I think that really the most effective conversations begin between people, and this is what, like, I talk with my mom and my grandma about this all the fucking time, to the point where it's like, am I oversharing? And I maybe, but I'm also talking to the people I love about the things that I am experiencing and going through, which keeps me so grounded and feeling so healthy and feeling so normal, because struggles with mental health can be really, 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 really isolating. It can feel like there's like, it really sometimes does feel that I am the only person who experiences this, especially because if I am sort of a neuroatypical kind of person, if I am, well, I have ADHD, and it manifests in very specific ways, and on the other hand of things, my mom and my grandma are probably the most annoyingly typical people possible. or like a Thanksgiving or an Easter or something like that. And if I am going to be helping out with that, I am going to be helping out with that in my certain specific way. And it will get done. Full stop. It'll get done. But it will possibly not look like it to somebody who doesn't understand what goes on in my head. And I hope that people can relate to this, because if I wasn't so open about my processes and what goes on up here, they would be very confused. And they're also the kind of people to say, why are you doing that way? That's fucking weird. It's just their personality. They're not mean. I love them, like, a lot. But it is like, this is Ryan. Like, what you see going on right now is me, and it'll get done. It just might not look the way that you want it to, which is perfectly fine if it gets done. It's a means to an end. I don't know. They think that it's weird, but I don't know. I embrace weirdness. I love the fact that I'm a little bit quirky. But anyway, this is going back to my point that I think I talk about mental health a lot, because it is actually healthy to, with somebody that you have a mutual sort of level of trust with, of course, to just say, I'm doing this way, I am feeling this way, I am responding this way because X, Y, Z, whatever. And I do that a lot, like, and I start doing it, like, even when people are looking at me oddly, like, this happened a lot at Starbucks when they're giving me that, what is he doing kind of look, especially, like, during restock times. Again, oversharer, I would be like, well, it makes sense because of this, and this is why I do that, because then if I do that, that thing's already going while I do that. And usually they're like, I didn't ask for the essay, and I'm like, but I love giving the essay because I'm communicating how I feel to you. And if you are somebody like that, or if you feel like this can help you, do it. People will be put off at first, but they will quickly begin to appreciate the open sort of avenue of communication that you have. The other thing that it does is it helps those people in other aspects of their life in coming to understandings with other people that they come into contact with. I know my grandma in her building, she doesn't live in an old folks home yet, but like, she often visits an old folks home in a town kind of a half-hour drive away where she grew up. But she visits the old folks home because she talks to old friends and all this kind of stuff. She has become, like, she will come back so much happier and so much more like, oh, I get this now, because she appreciates my communication style. I've won in life. Truly. Feels like it's been a very long road to get here, but when somebody tells me that they appreciate my communication style, I don't know, biggest compliment that I've ever received. That's not true. The biggest compliment I've ever received is one that I can't talk about on this channel, mostly because it has to do with my job, and I keep that separate, because from the online sort of sphere of my life, because if the wrong kind of person knew what I did and then recognized me in real life, then it could affect the people that I work with. I work with a very vulnerable class of people, but if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you've heard this spiel like 1,000 times over. On another note, the most Trigger Word Tuesday number was video 170. I have made 170 of these things. I filmed a couple more, so this is probably going to end up being like 173 or something like that. But like that to me it's not a shock, but the consistency of it really makes me excited. I don't know, I'm very happy that I've continued with this. This is truly one of the most unique and interesting things that I've done with my life. I am not a person who enjoys being public, really. I also don't like being perceived a lot. A lot of my sort of pathos stems from the fact that I have a hard time having attention on me. I don't enjoy, this is out in public more so, but I don't enjoy like feeling exposed, which I don't know why. Who knows? Some people like certain things, some people don't. But this channel has really taught me that I do have the ability to kind of manage myself. I think the internet does make it easier because there is a level of anonymity that makes it feel not real, which I think is where you get things like parasocial relationships and social media addiction and things like that from. But I'm very proud of myself. The theater student in me, I guess, is proud of myself because I'm doing something creative with my time. The sort of introvert in me is proud because I am doing something so out of my comfort zone, and it has gone like unimaginably well in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel happy when I get up in front of the camera to do this, and it used to be that I asked a lot of questions of myself, and now I have just fallen into this routine kind of where I enjoy what I've got going on right now. So I guess, again, I don't know why I fall on advice for these ramble videos, but try something a little bit out of your comfort zone. This actually, weirdly enough, connects to something that I found on TikTok. I don't talk about TikTok a lot because I'm not on TikTok a lot, but there is an individual on TikTok named Serafina who does these like live streams where I believe they mostly like do live streams singing Taylor Swift's music and like improving their singing voice and all that kind of stuff. And there is without going so in depth into Serafina's story, because I don't want to tell it poorly. Serafina had an experience in their life where it was like, I need to put myself out there. She's made a whole video about this. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to find her on TikTok to put like a username, but I'm just going to search just to see if I can't manage to find it. But anyway, Serapina. You can also look up the Sarah's Tour, Seras Tour or something like that, and you'll probably find her. Serafina, Serafdour. Sarah's Tour. I think does this, like all of her singing and stuff like that. But it really struck a chord with me that it's not necessarily that Serafina was like, I'm gonna go be a great singer and everything like that, but Serafina is trying and doing something so publicly and learning so publicly and succeeding. I don't know. Serafina is an angel. Literally an inspiration to me. Whenever I see the live stream pop up on my TikTok, I'm like, I don't know, there's something incredibly like heartwarming about that to me, and I think in a much smaller way, this is that for me. Now, would I love to have like a singing YouTube channel? Absolutely. Would I want to be the next Troye Sivan? Absolutely. Although I couldn't do all the public sort of figure stuff. Watching Chapel Roan go through it is surreal enough. But, what was I gonna say? But I don't know, this is like a little way for me to branch out, which, I don't know, I feel happy about. Especially because now I've spent 40 minutes or so, I don't know if I've had to edit any of this down, but 40 minutes-ish, 41 minutes of just like chatting and understanding fully well that a very raw and vulnerable side of me to do with my mental health and the way that I feel and my upswings and downswings and finding out why I needed medication and what kind of medication I needed and all of this stuff, things that I wouldn't necessarily share with somebody on the street, I think maybe hopefully is valuable and inspirational to somebody who will now want to start this kind of conversation with somebody in their life. Maybe. I can only hope. I really can only hope. I think that's where this is going to end, pretty much. I swear to God, I'll do like a normal ramble at some point. My brain just always goes to this kind of stuff. I apologize if you don't like it. But yeah, no, I don't apologize. I do what I like on this channel. I do what is healthy for me, so I don't know, a little lesson in self-care there, I'm sure. But I hope that you enjoyed this. Oh, okay. Special shout-outs. I know I should do this at the very beginning. I will, actually, maybe I will tag these two people in the description of this video, in the description box below. I love it when Maddie says that. But Minnie Roberts, gave, on the most recent Trick or Tuesday, number 37, gave what's called a super thanks. I did not know that I turned this on. Then I looked in the Earn tab at YouTube, and I have it turned on. I did not know that that was a thing that people could do. I guess it's what those people do, like in live streams, like if you're watching Twitch live streams where they're like, thank you, whoever, for the super chat, but my channel member, Minnie Roberts, sent me a super thanks, and, like, it is really hard to describe how, like, when I saw the notification on my phone, because I have YouTube Studio on here, and it gave me a notification, like, on my home screen, and I was like, or on my lock screen, and it was like, I don't know what that is, but, like, holy shit, so, thank you, like, thank you. If I could, like, grab your head and shake you and be like, oh my god, thank you. That odd way to show gratitude, but you get where I'm coming from. But, again, yes, thank you. The other person I am shouting out is Barbie Hannibal. If you watch Trick or Tuesdays, if you've been watching Trick or Tuesdays since probably about, I'm gonna guess like February or like the very beginning of March, you will recognize the username Barbie Hannibal. Barbie Hannibal has suggested putting names in the titles of like the Trigger Word Tuesdays specifically, or like doing themed ones. I know I did trigger phrases once for a Trigger Word Tuesday, so I guess like themed-ish. But I think I am going to try that. So next time you see a Trigger Word Tuesday, it will likely have a name. If I can think of one immediately. If not, then the one on the first one of October will likely have one. And, the title of this video, you will notice, if, again, you pay attention to this kind of thing, I usually do, but, again, I'm not necessarily a benchmark for what is typical. You'll see that instead of going like Eclectic, ASMR, and then a line, and then the title of the video, I have actually bumped that to the end, just to like, it is to grow the channel. I'm not necessarily concerned with like rapid growth or like optimization or anything like that. This is the reason why I don't do my own thumbnails, because I understand like YouTube gives me notifications pretty much every week like, did you know that you could improve your thumbnails? Did you know that you could get like 44% more viewers if you improve your thumbnails? And I'm like, yes, thank you. It takes minimal effort for me to actually do a thumbnail, but minimal effort sometimes feels like climbing fucking Everest for me. So I don't do them. But maybe I'll start, and then the whole titles thing is just kind of to possibly grow this space. I have begun to realize that a lot of people enjoy the safety and the openness and the transparency on this channel, which again is mind-blowing to me, but people enjoy it, and that is, I think, so valuable that I am able to, in the smallest measure possible, keep in mind, help a little bit, or make people feel seen and heard, or just give people a 30-minute chill-out kind of session. I think that hearing that it works for people, it makes me feel very, very happy, and it makes me want to expand that a little bit. By no means do I want to blow up into some 100,000 subscriber like GB or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's like the future for this channel, but if it is, it is, and if it isn't, I'm happy with my little niche of a couple thousand people who we just have like this little thing going on. I don't know, it makes me happy thinking about that. So anyway, you'll notice a couple changes like that, but nothing drastic. If I choose to do anything drastic, I will put up a poll in my community tab, because I don't want to change the magic. If